So my question is about processing when there are elements of a dissociation. I have missing pieces around parts of some trauma, but have also dissociative and depersonalization episodes when trying to recover and process these in the past. How do you go deep enough to release while staying grounded enough not to dissociate? Do you have some advice around this? This is so good. And I will mention that I did a podcast episode a while back. So my podcast is The Art of Listening to Your Body, and it should be available on most of your listening platforms. And I talked about the title was Uncovering Suppressed Emotions. But really what I dived into is that don't dive into actually trying to uncover memories and suppressed emotions that you have forgotten about. I hope that makes sense. So don't try and dig around at stuff that you cannot recall. So layers is another theme that keeps on coming up, and I feel like I'm going to do a masterclass on the many layers behind things, and that's what I keep on saying in these lives is that, oh my gosh, there's so many layers to this. I think I forgot the title of the podcast. Uncovering suppressed memories. Or in this case, I don't have very clear memories about my trauma. I don't recommend you try and recreate these. And there are usually more present day things happening in your life, reoccurring themes that are stemmed from that. And so generally when the body starts to feel safe, the memories will start to get clearer. The memories will start to get clearer, and then you can start to process. And I don't know if this is new information or if I was able to actually capture it in that podcast, but our memories and the things that we say about experiences we've had are actually a culmination of multiple experiences that we've had. Now, I'm not getting esoteric on you, but an example of this would be you and your friend saw this accident, saw this event happen. Your friend goes and tells the story and you're listening to it. And you're like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. You forgot this. This happened. I was there. And you just recount the event completely differently because your memories of events, even recent, are a culmination of your previous experiences and the biases you might hold, the traumas that you have experienced. So yeah, I wanted to share that bit before I dive in a little bit more to the dissociative part. And from what it sounds like, this person has done a lot of work and they've experienced that they dissociate from their body. They don't identify. That's what I think it means by depersonalization. They don't identify with themselves, or they almost like lose themselves when they're trying to dive deep into processing their emotions. So there are people who want to like dive right in. And I get it, because you learn that when you can liberate yourself of emotional pain and stored emotions, you can start to connect with your desire. This is a whole other topic on working through 2 phases of discomfort. But it's an ongoing process, and I still release and process my emotions on a regular basis, but I would probably say once a fortnight. Sometimes it gets a little bit more frequent, but it can be done within a matter of minutes. My aim is that I'm processing more in the moment. I'm choosing how to respond so I don't have these triggers and issues that I have to process, or I'm processing very soon after an event so that it doesn't feel like this big overwhelming list of crap to do. So it's always evolving, it's always ongoing, there are always going to be things to process, but usually it feels overwhelming because we've got so much from our past that we know that we've stored and then we haven't addressed. So normally dissociation, like feeling like you're separate or dissociated from a body part, can also be very common if it's given you pain, issues, disease. You can get dissociated from scars because of actual physical numbness as well. But dissociating when you're in a process of processing your emotions, I would usually say that that's because the nervous system has been slightly overwhelmed. And the question was, how do I stay in the process and stay grounded as I'm working through some of these tough emotions? Now, I get to work with this person in the release group, which is live now, a little bit deeper. So I'm really looking forward to unpacking more of the layers. But as I said, you're going to get a double whammy because this was asked on the free group as well. Is there are often more things happening in your present day life or recently in the last 2 weeks, 2 months that are reoccurring themes of the same thing that you're trying to process, but maybe it's just a little bit too much. So I encourage people to start with easier things. Now, this is whatever method you choose to use. I do have a particular method. I only teach it in the Untriggered mini course or in Release. I teach it. So you start to process on things that are easy, where you've got very clear memories of things, but your memories are your memories of how things went and how you would like them to go. And then you start to build the trust that shift can start to happen on a physical, emotional, energetic level. You start to see some of the milestones appear. And then as your body starts to feel safer as well, of like, oh, okay, that felt a little bit uncomfortable, but now I feel better, is then you can start to go deeper, deeper into the nitty gritty, into the dark, into the shadow work, into the real negativity, into those hard places where previously you dissociated or didn't identify with yourself. So I am assuming from the way that this was asked is that your nervous system is just a little bit too heavy for it, for that particular thing. So start easy. Start with some real basic stuff because it's still linked in. Build the trust, let your nervous system feel safer, and naturally the memories are going to come up. So this can be faster for some than others, but you don't want to go about trying to recreate memories. And did I talk about it on the podcast? I don't know. I have so many thoughts go through my mind. But there was a case many, many, many years ago. I don't know the names of it. You could probably Google it. But it was about people in the mental health world that were actually implanting false memories on their clients, which led to false accusations, which led to people being put in jail for these false accusations. So I think that this is quite dangerous. Anyway, that's just a very light memory of something happening many decades ago. You could probably Google it and find it. But the key is, what are we going to do about it now? Is maybe be aware that we don't try and recreate memories. I just did do a recent podcast on a past life regression session that I had, which is about bringing in all sorts of things. And I felt like I was making shit up. But this is a different context. A past life regression therapy session is very different to processing emotions around memories, events, triggers that you have. But let me go back to the question and just make sure I have answered it to what I feel like is my fullest capacity based on the information I've got. Yeah, I think I got everything in there. So don't go too big, too deep. I've kind of changed my title. I've got to change on my website, Cathartic Release Therapist, to simply Psychosomatic Therapist. I'm always changing my title. I've got some other titles in the back of my mind that I could use to communicate to people in a different way. But don't go big and nasty. Don't try and dig around. Maybe you need to take a break, just start with something easy. This goes for everyone, not just because this person's working with me in Release, but I know that we're going to be able to dive many, many, many layers deeper in Release. And so if you do feel called to join that course, the doors are still open, perhaps for the next week. I just kind of feel into the group. We've already done the first live call, which is teaching from me, the most up-to-date teaching on everything that I do. Some updates are going onto the course platform. So if you've been a previous releaser, remember you have lifetime access. So there's new content, new involvements of the messages. And yeah, would love for you to join. It is important that you only join if it feels right and finances are able, because I talked about safety yesterday and you don't want finances getting in the way of you doing this work. So with all of my work, whether it's free, paid, at whatever level, it's just got to feel right, and I trust that you can make those decisions for yourself. All right, so I will see you over the month, and I'll keep chipping away through those 5 questions. I've got 3 more to go, and I might jump on here either on Instagram or on here just to update you about some stuff that's going on in my mind and some ideas of what I want to create, which is pretty exciting. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, The Art of Listening to Your Body is my handle on there, then I sometimes post different videos on there and different content, just depends. All right, so thanks for your questions. I hope you're having an amazing week. Lionsgate portal, actually if you make it to the end of this video, the 12th is when the actual Lionsgate portal is closing. I did a manifestation portal event the other day. You can grab the replay. To be honest, you can use this replay anytime, but sometimes it's nice to utilize the numbers and the dates to actually call us forward to actually do this work. And yeah, that is a much more feminine space teaching rather than structured. It's more guided visualization and desires rather than structured masculine teaching, which is where I mostly operate from. Okay, have an amazing lead into your weekend. Bye.